Raj Patel's apartment looked like a cross between a data center and an energy drink graveyard. The gentle hum of his 6-monitor setup, lovingly dubbed the command center, provided a constant background noise that helped him think. It was 7:43 a.m. on what should have been an ordinary Monday, but the universe had other plans. The first sign that something was wrong came through his custom network monitoring system. Global latency spikes across all major data centers were just the beginning. The quantum encryption protocols he'd helped design were being hit with something that made absolutely no sense: computing power that shouldn't exist in this solar system. Please tell me someone didn't try to mine cryptocurrency on the company's servers again, he muttered, fingers flying across his mechanical keyboard. The satisfying clicks of Cherry MX switches accompanied his rapid typing as he dug deeper into the anomalies. His phone buzzed, urgent, global network disruptions. All hands on deck. No kidding, Raj snorted, sending back a quick thumbs-up emoji. He'd been tracking these disruptions for the past 3 hours from his apartment while his colleagues were probably still stuck in morning traffic. The TV in the background switched from his usual gaming stream to breaking news: scientists at major observatories reporting an unidentified object entering the solar system. The object exhibited properties that defied known physics, which would have been fascinating if it wasn't coinciding with worldwide system failures. Banking networks, power grids, communication satellites, everything was going haywire simultaneously. Raj reached for his phone to text his boss, then noticed it had no signal. Neither did his backup phone, or his emergency backup phone, or even the secret backup phone his mother didn't know about that he used for ordering takeout at 3 a.m. "This is not your typical script kiddie attack," he muttered, pulling up terminal windows across his displays. The patterns emerging from the chaos were fascinating and terrifying. The alien signals weren't just interfering with Earth's networks, they were actively probing them, testing vulnerabilities, and adapting their attacks with an efficiency that made the best human hackers look like toddlers mashing keyboards. A message popped up on his private server, which he'd managed to keep online through a series of bypass protocols he'd developed for fun, purely theoretical and totally not breaking any international cybersecurity laws, of course. The message was from his old college roommate at NASA: major cities reporting strange energy signatures. Power grids failing. Check your email if you can. Raj cracked his knuckles and initiated his emergency protocols. His private server connected, revealing a flood of classified data from space agencies worldwide. The images made his blood run cold, massive energy buildups appearing over major cities: New York, Tokyo, London, Mumbai. "Time to see what our new friends are really up to," he whispered, pulling up the raw data streams he'd been collecting since the disruptions began. Something about the alien system's attack pattern seemed familiar, almost like. No way. He nearly knocked over his energy drink. The alien code structure matched Earth's quantum computing architecture, not exactly, but close enough that it couldn't be coincidence. The same mathematical principles, the same fundamental approach to quantum state manipulation. "They've been watching us," he realized, laughing manically. "Studying our tech development. And they built their weapons using our basic quantum theories as a foundation." His fingers flew across the keyboard, testing his theory. Yes, there it was: the alien system's quantum encryption showed the same vulnerabilities as early Earth prototypes. Vulnerabilities he'd helped discover and patch years ago while working on quantum security standards. A new message popped up from his work Slack: global defense agencies reporting weapons failure. Conventional and cyber attacks ineffective. Estimated 2 hours until weapon reaches full power. "Amateur hour," Raj muttered, already coding. "They copied our homework but didn't bother to check if we'd found any mistakes." His screens filled with cascading data as he probed the alien system. Their quantum security was impressive, far beyond Earth's current capabilities, but it was built on the same flawed foundation, like building a skyscraper on quicksand. Another alert: Mumbai was going dark, its power grid completely failing. That was his parents' city, his sister's city, the place where he'd first learned to code staying up late in his father's computer repair shop. Okay, now it's personal. Raj pulled up his special toolkit, the one he kept in an air-gapped system. It was filled with zero-day exploits and custom-built quantum algorithms that would make any cybersecurity conference either award him or arrest him. His monitors displayed a 3D representation of the alien weapons network architecture, beautifully complex but fundamentally flawed. Like finding out the Death Star not only had a vulnerable exhaust port but had copied its design from an old Imperial College engineering thesis. Time to give you guys a live demonstration of why peer review is important. Raj initiated his first probe sequence, targeting the quantum vulnerability he'd identified. And why you should always cite your sources. The alien system's response was immediate and exactly what he'd expected. Their automated defenses followed the same protocols Earth systems had used before he'd helped rewrite them. It was like watching a replay of his old hacking sessions, but with the fate of humanity at stake. A small notification appeared in the corner of his screen, his food delivery app asking him to rate his breakfast burrito experience. If we survive this, Raj muttered, his fingers never stopping their dance across the keyboard, I'm leaving you guys 5 stars. And if we don't, well, I guess the aliens can leave the review. His initial probe had caught someone's attention. Multiple someones, actually. His secure chat suddenly lit up with messages from various 3-letter agencies he'd rather not name. They'd detected his activities and, instead of trying to stop him, were asking for details. About time, he muttered, quickly typing out responses while maintaining his assault on the alien systems. I need access to every quantum-capable system you've got. And someone get me a direct line to the quantum research labs at MIT, Caltech, and Oxford. The response was immediate. Screens began popping up showing connections to quantum computers around the world. These weren't the public-facing research machines, these were the real deals, the ones governments pretended didn't exist. Well, Raj grinned, cracking his knuckles. Let's show these aliens what happens when you plagiarize human technology without reading the errata. He began coordinating with quantum research teams worldwide, explaining his discovery about the alien system's architecture. The scientists were skeptical at first, but the data didn't lie. The aliens had somehow acquired early human quantum computing research and used it as the foundation for their weapon systems. It's like they found our rough drafts, he explained to a quickly assembled emergency conference call with various defense agencies. They built something incredibly powerful, but they built it on top of code that was never meant to be used in production. They didn't just copy our homework, they copied our homework from freshman year. The implications were staggering. The aliens might be technologically advanced enough for interstellar travel, but they'd made a crucial mistake. They'd assumed that human quantum computing research was complete, rather than recognizing it as the early, experimental work it was. They think they're using our best work, Raj explained, but they're actually using our first attempts. It's like finding someone's practice sketches and using them as blueprints for a skyscraper. As he spoke, his programs were probing deeper into the alien systems, mapping out their network architecture. The aliens had taken human quantum computing concepts and scaled them up to an incredible degree, but they hadn't fixed any of the fundamental flaws in the original design. Those vulnerabilities we discovered and patched years ago. They're still there in their systems, just operating at a much larger scale. And that makes them even more dangerous, to the aliens. A general on the call scoffed. You're telling me these advanced aliens made such a basic mistake? Why not? Raj shrugged, not taking his eyes off his screens. Humans do it all the time. We get so excited about upgrading something that we forget to check if the foundation is solid. These aliens might be advanced, but they're still capable of getting cocky. As if to prove his point, another wave of attacks hit Earth's infrastructure. Power grids across Europe began failing, banking systems in Asia went dark, and satellite communications worldwide became increasingly erratic. But Raj was ready. He'd been anticipating this, setting up his countermeasures while explaining the situation to increasingly desperate officials. The aliens were following attack patterns that he himself had helped develop and subsequently protect against years ago. They're using quantum entanglement for their command and control systems, he explained, fingers flying across his keyboard. But they're using an early protocol that we abandoned because it was too unstable. They've just scaled it up without fixing the underlying issues. His screens showed the alien attack patterns, beautiful in their complexity but fatally flawed in their foundation. It was like watching a massive house of cards being built higher and higher, impressive, but ultimately doomed by its own fundamental instability. Want to see something really interesting? Raj asked, pulling up a new window. Watch this. He initiated a series of commands, targeting specific vulnerabilities in the alien system's quantum architecture. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, one by one, the energy signatures over Earth's cities began to fluctuate. The alien systems were responding exactly as he predicted, following the same error patterns that had led humans to abandon these protocols years ago. Ladies and gentlemen, Raj announced to the stunned officials on his conference call, I believe we've just found our way in. Now, who's ready to show these aliens why you should always check your sources? The room erupted in a mixture of relief, excitement, and skepticism. But Raj barely heard them. He was already coding, preparing for what would come next. Because he knew this was just the beginning, the aliens wouldn't take this lying down. Time to go to work, he muttered, reaching for another energy drink. Let's show them why humans are the kings and queens of debugging. Counter-Strike. Admiral Chen's face filled one of Raj's monitors, her expression a mixture of hope and skepticism. Mr. Patel, you're telling me these aliens, advanced enough for interstellar travel, based their entire attack system on our early quantum computing experiments? Not just based on them, Raj replied, his fingers dancing across multiple keyboards. They literally copied them, complete with all the bugs and vulnerabilities we discovered during development. It's like they found our prototype and thought it was the finished product. The Admiral's eyes narrowed. And you can exploit these vulnerabilities? Already am, Raj grinned, pulling up a new window showing real-time attack data. See these patterns? The aliens are using quantum entanglement for their command and control systems, but they're using our old protocols. The ones we abandoned because they were too unstable at scale. And they haven't noticed this instability? Oh, they've noticed, Raj said, pointing to another screen showing energy fluctuations above major cities. They're just throwing more power at the problem, thinking it's a brute force solution. But in quantum computing, more power doesn't fix architectural flaws, it amplifies them. As if on cue, the energy signature above Tokyo flickered violently. The aliens were struggling to maintain control of their weapons systems, just as Earth's scientists had struggled with similar issues years ago. The bigger they are, Raj muttered, initiating another series of attacks, the harder they fall. But the aliens weren't going down without a fight. A new wave of attacks hit Earth's remaining infrastructure, more sophisticated than before. They were learning, adapting their strategies in real time. Impressive, Raj admitted, watching their countermoves. They're quick studies. But they're still building on a broken foundation. He pulled up his special toolkit, the one filled with experimental quantum algorithms he'd developed during late-night coding sessions. Programs that pushed the boundaries of what was theoretically possible with quantum computing. Time to show them some real human innovation. The next few hours were a blur of coding, quantum manipulation, and increasingly desperate attempts by the aliens to maintain control of their systems. Raj coordinated with quantum research teams worldwide, using their combined computing power to exploit the vulnerabilities in the alien network. It's working, Dr. Wong announced from Singapore. The alien weapons systems are showing increasing signs of instability. But something wasn't right. The aliens' responses were becoming more erratic, more desperate. And then Raj saw it, a new pattern emerging in their attack sequences. They're not just trying to maintain control, he realized, horror dawning on his face. They're trying to overload their own systems. If these weapons detonate. He didn't need to finish the sentence. Everyone on the call understood the implications. The aliens were willing to sacrifice their own technology, turning their failing weapons into massive bombs rather than risk losing control of them. How long do we have? Admiral Chen demanded. Raj's fingers flew across his keyboards, calculations streaming across his screens. Based on their current power levels and the rate of quantum destabilization, maybe an hour. 2 at most. Can we stop it? Maybe, Raj said, already coding. But we need more computing power. A lot more. You have it, the Admiral replied without hesitation. Whatever you need. What followed was the largest coordinated quantum computing effort in human history. Research labs, government facilities, and even private companies around the world redirected their quantum computers to support Raj's counterattack. It's like a massive distributed computing project, he explained to the teams worldwide. But instead of searching for alien life, we're trying to stop it from blowing us up. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. As the hours ticked by, a strange pattern emerged in the alien systems. Their attacks became more coordinated, more focused. It was as if they were being directed by a single intelligence rather than automated systems. They've noticed what we're doing, Raj announced to the emergency conference. And I think we've got their attention. The big boss just entered the game. The attacks suddenly shifted, becoming more sophisticated but also more predictable. Whoever was commanding the alien forces was using strategies that seemed almost human. Of course, Raj laughed, the pieces finally clicking into place. They didn't just steal our quantum computing research. They've been studying all our technology, our tactics, our way of thinking. They think they know how we'll respond. But there was something the aliens hadn't counted on, human creativity. While they had been studying humanity's technological achievements, they had missed the most important aspect of human innovation, our ability to think outside the box. You want to play by human rules? Raj cracked his knuckles, pulling up a program he'd written years ago as a theoretical exercise. Let's show you why humans are the masters of breaking them. The program was something he developed while exploring the theoretical limits of quantum computing. It was unstable, unpredictable, and probably violated several laws of physics. It was also exactly what they needed. Everyone, listen carefully, he addressed the global team. What I'm about to do is either going to save Earth or create a quantum singularity. Either way, it's going to be interesting. He began implementing his plan, coordinating with quantum research teams worldwide. The program was designed to create a cascading quantum entanglement effect, using the aliens' own network architecture against them. It's like a quantum version of a logic bomb, he explained to the increasingly nervous officials. But instead of crashing their systems, it's going to force the quantum gambit. The moment Raj initiated his quantum logic bomb, he knew there was no turning back. His screens erupted with data as the program began its work, creating a cascading wave of quantum entanglement that spread through the alien network like a virus. What exactly are we looking at, Mr. Patel? Admiral Chen asked, her voice tense. Think of it like a quantum version of a denial-of-service attack, Raj explained, watching the patterns unfold. But instead of overwhelming their systems with traffic, we're forcing their quantum networks to entangle with each other in ways they weren't designed to handle. The effect was immediate and spectacular. The energy signatures above Earth's cities began to fluctuate wildly as the alien systems struggled to maintain control. But something else was happening, something unexpected. They're responding, Raj announced, leaning forward in his chair. But not how I predicted. They're adapting. The alien counterattack came in waves, each more sophisticated than the last. It was clear now that they were dealing with an intelligence far beyond what they'd initially assumed. The aliens weren't just using stolen human technology, they were improving upon it in real time. Fascinating, Raj muttered, watching the alien code evolve. They're rewriting their quantum protocols on the fly. I didn't even know that was possible. A new window popped up on his screen, a direct message from Dr. Wong in Singapore. Raj, we're detecting something strange in the quantum fluctuations. It looks like communication attempts. Raj switched his attention to the raw data streams. The patterns were unlike anything he'd seen before, complex, rhythmic, almost like. They're trying to talk to us, he realized. Through the quantum network itself. The alien signals were becoming more structured, more deliberate. What had started as seemingly random quantum fluctuations was transforming into something that looked remarkably like a primitive form of binary code. Can you decode it? Admiral Chen asked. Working on it, Raj replied, his fingers flying across the keyboard. It's similar to early quantum communication protocols we experimented with, but more advanced. They're using the quantum entanglement itself as a carrier wave for information. As he worked to decode the signals, the attacks on Earth's infrastructure began to slow. The energy weapons hovering over major cities remained active but stable, no longer building toward detonation. They're giving us time, Raj said, understanding dawning on his face. They want to understand what we did. The first decoded message appeared on his screen, simple but clear, impressive solution. Explain. Raj couldn't help but laugh. They're debugging their own systems. They want to know how we broke their quantum network. Is this a trap? Someone asked on the conference call. Maybe, Raj admitted. But I think it's something else. I think we just got their attention in a way they didn't expect. He began composing a response, using the same quantum communication protocol the aliens had established. It was risky, but he had a theory about their true intentions. What are you telling them? Admiral Chen demanded. I'm explaining the vulnerabilities in their quantum architecture, Raj said. And offering to help them fix it. The response was immediate, why help? Raj smiled. Because that's what humans do. We find problems, we fix them, and we share the solutions. It's called peer review. What followed was the most unusual debugging session in human history. Through the quantum network, Raj and his team began explaining the fundamental flaws in the alien systems, flaws that humans had discovered and corrected years ago. The aliens, for their part, seemed genuinely interested. Their responses became more detailed, more technical. They began sharing their own improvements to the quantum protocols, innovations that made Raj's head spin with their elegance and complexity. This is incredible, Dr. Wong commented. They're not just learning from us, they're teaching us things we never even considered. But not everyone was convinced. They're still holding our cities hostage, Admiral Chen pointed out. This could all be a distraction while they prepare for another attack. Raj shook his head. I don't think so. Look at their weapon systems. The energy signatures above Earth's cities were changing, becoming more stable but also more transparent. The aliens were deliberately exposing their system architecture, showing exactly how their weapons worked. They're not trying to attack us anymore, Raj realized. They're trying to understand us. A new message appeared, human quantum theory incomplete but innovative. Unexpected solutions. Propose exchange of knowledge. The conference call erupted in excited chatter. The implications were staggering, not just the prevention of an alien invasion, but the possibility of peaceful technological exchange with an advanced civilization. All because they tried to copy our homework, Raj chuckled, reaching for another energy drink. And we caught them at it. But something was still bothering him. The aliens' quick transition from attack to collaboration seemed too convenient, too easy. He began digging deeper into their quantum communications, looking for any signs of deception. What he found made his blood run cold. Everyone, he announced, silencing the excited discussions. We have a problem. A big one. The quantum signals contained hidden patterns, subtle variations that he'd almost missed. The aliens weren't just communicating with Earth, they were communicating with something else, something much further away. "They're not the invasion force," Raj said, his voice grim. "They're the advanced scouts. And they just sent everything they learned about us back to their main fleet." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. They hadn't just shown the aliens how to fix their quantum systems, they'd given them a crash course in human innovation, creativity, and problem-solving. "So what do we do now?" Admiral Chen asked, breaking the tense silence. Raj cracked his knuckles, a determined smile spreading across his face. "Now. Now we show them why you should never give humans time to prepare for a fight. Because we're about to take everything we just learned about their technology and do what humans do best, improve it, weaponize it, and use it to protect our home." The quantum network hummed with activity as he began implementing his new plan. The aliens might have learned about human creativity, but they were about to learn something far more important: why humans are feared in battle. "Let's give their main fleet a proper welcome," Raj muttered, his fingers dancing across the keyboard. "I've got some new quantum algorithms I've been dying to test." The human factor. The main alien fleet arrived 3 days after Raj's discovery of the advanced scouts' true purpose. They emerged from hyperspace in a display that made Earth's combined naval forces look like a collection of toy boats. But Raj wasn't watching the ships, he was watching their quantum signatures. "Just as I thought," he announced to the Emergency Council, now permanently established in a bunker beneath Geneva. "They're using an upgraded version of the quantum architecture we saw in the Scout Force." Admiral Chen leaned forward. "They learned from their mistakes." "Oh, they learned," Raj nodded, his fingers flying across multiple keyboards. "But so did we." The past 3 days had been a blur of activity. Every quantum computer on Earth had been reprogrammed with new protocols based on what they'd learned from the alien scouts. Raj had led a global team of scientists and programmers in developing what he called quantum guerrilla warfare, asymmetric digital combat techniques designed to exploit the fundamental assumptions in alien technology. "They think they know how we think," he explained, pulling up diagnostic screens showing the alien fleet's quantum emissions. "They studied our technology, our tactics, our traditional responses to threats. But they missed something crucial about human nature." "And what's that?" a Chinese general asked. "We cheat," Raj grinned. "Creatively and enthusiastically." The alien fleet's first transmission was exactly what they'd expected, a demand for immediate surrender, broadcast on all frequencies and through the quantum network. What they hadn't expected was Earth's response. Initiating Operation Chaos Theory, Raj announced, executing his carefully prepared program. Across the globe, thousands of quantum computers began broadcasting seemingly random signals. Each signal was carefully crafted to interact with the aliens' quantum network in specific ways, creating cascade effects that propagated through their entire fleet. "What exactly are we doing to them?" Admiral Chen asked, watching the alien ship's energy signatures fluctuate. "Remember how their systems are based on our early quantum computing architecture?" Raj explained, not taking his eyes off his screens. "Well, we're exploiting a phenomenon we discovered during development, quantum resonance feedback loops. In English, please. We're giving their quantum computers hiccups," Raj simplified. "Lots of them. All slightly different, all designed to compound and amplify each other." The effect was subtle at first. Small glitches in the alien fleet's formation, minor communications errors, slight power fluctuations. But like a snowball rolling downhill, these small problems began to grow. "They're trying to adapt," Dr. Wong reported from Singapore. "Their quantum protocols are evolving faster than we predicted." "Good," Raj smiled. "That's exactly what we wanted." His main screen showed the alien fleet's quantum network architecture, now far more complex than what they'd seen in the Scout Force. The aliens had indeed learned from their earlier encounter, implementing multiple layers of quantum security and redundancy. They thought they were patching the vulnerabilities we showed them, Raj explained. But they're still thinking like engineers, trying to build perfect systems. They haven't figured out the most important lesson about human technology. Which is? Admiral Chen asked. Perfect is the enemy of good enough, Raj replied. Humans excel at creating imperfect solutions that work surprisingly well. We're about to show them why that's a strength, not a weakness. The alien fleet's response to Earth's quantum assault was impressive but predictable. They began implementing increasingly sophisticated quantum protocols, each more elegant and theoretically secure than the last. They're playing right into our hands, Raj announced. Every time they upgrade their systems, they're actually making them more vulnerable to our next attack. How is that possible? Someone asked. Because we're not trying to beat their quantum computers, Raj explained. We're trying to confuse them. Every upgrade they implement makes their systems more complex, more interconnected, and more susceptible to cascade failures. The strategy was working. Across the alien fleet, ships began experiencing system failures. Nothing catastrophic, but enough to create doubt and uncertainty in their command structure. Now for Phase 2, Raj announced. Dr. Wong, is your team ready? Ready, came the response from Singapore. Though I still think this is insane. The best human innovations usually are, Raj grinned, initiating the second phase of their defense. What followed was perhaps the most audacious hack in human history. Instead of trying to shut down the alien quantum network, they began inserting their own code into it. Not attacks or viruses, but something far more insidious, human culture. We're feeding their quantum computers a crash course in human history, Raj explained to the stunned council. Art, music, literature, scientific papers, social media posts, cat videos, everything that makes us human. Why? Admiral Chen asked, bewildered. Because their quantum computers are designed to analyze and understand complex patterns, Raj explained. They'll try to make sense of what we're sending them. And in doing so, they'll begin to understand something their commanders missed during their initial analysis of Earth. Which is? That humans are gloriously, wonderfully unpredictable, Raj smiled. We're sending them our chaos, our creativity, our ability to find solutions where none should exist. We're showing them why copying our technology without understanding our nature was their first mistake. The alien fleet's reactions began to change. Their attacks became less coordinated, their responses more varied. Some ships began broadcasting strange combinations of Earth signals back into space, as if trying to understand the patterns they were receiving. It's working, Dr. Wong reported excitedly. Their quantum networks are adapting in unexpected ways. They're learning. Better than that, Raj replied, watching the data streams. They're beginning to think like us. And that's exactly what we wanted. Because what the aliens hadn't realized was that every piece of human culture they absorbed through their quantum networks came with something else: human ways of thinking, human approaches to problem solving, human creativity. We're not just defending Earth anymore, Raj announced to the council. We're teaching them why humans are different from any species they've encountered before. And why that makes us dangerous. The alien fleet's formation began to break down, not through any direct attack, but through a kind of cultural quantum infection. Their perfectly ordered systems were being corrupted by exposure to human chaos theory, human innovation, human art and creativity. They're retreating, Admiral Chen announced, watching the tactical displays. But, why? We haven't actually damaged any of their ships. No, Raj agreed. We did something much worse. We made them question their own assumptions. We showed them that there's more than one way to win a war. As the alien fleet began to withdraw, a final transmission came through their quantum network: humans dangerous. Not through weapons. Through ideas. Retreat and reassess. Raj leaned back in his chair, finally allowing himself to relax slightly. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you should always study the human factor before starting a war with Earth. But even as the alien fleet retreated, Raj was already thinking ahead. Because he knew this wasn't over, it was just the beginning. The aliens would be back, and next time they'd be better prepared. Time to start working on our next surprise, he muttered, reaching for another energy drink. Because if there's one thing humans are really good at, it's coming up with new ways to break the rules. Evolution. 6 months after the alien fleet's retreat, Raj sat in a newly constructed quantum computing facility beneath the Himalayas, watching humanity evolve. The massive chamber housed the world's first true quantum mainframe, built using a combination of human innovation and reversed-engineered alien technology. Status report on Project Prometheus? Admiral Chen's hologram asked, flickering slightly in the quantum-enhanced projection. We're ahead of schedule, Raj replied, gesturing to the streams of data flowing across his holographic displays. The quantum integration protocols we learned from the alien fleet have accelerated our development by decades. But that's not the interesting part. He pulled up a new display, showing complex patterns of quantum entanglement that seem to dance and shift like living things. The systems are evolving on their own, he explained. Remember how we infected their fleet with human culture and creativity? Well, it works both ways. Their quantum computers taught ours how to self-modify, adapt, and grow. Is that safe? The Admiral asked, concern evident in her voice. Safe? No, Raj laughed. But neither is standing still while there's an advanced alien civilization out there that knows where we live. Besides, we're not just building better computers, we're creating something entirely new. The project had started as a defensive measure, a way to prepare for the aliens' inevitable return. But it had become something more. The quantum mainframe wasn't just processing data, it was learning, creating, evolving in ways that merged the best aspects of human and alien technology. Show her the Nexus, Dr. Wong suggested from her workstation. Raj nodded, switching to a different visualization. The display showed what looked like a living neural network, but instead of biological neurons, it was made of quantum-entangled particles spanning the globe. This is what happens when you combine human creativity with alien quantum architecture, he explained. We're not just building a defense network, we're creating a new form of intelligence. One that thinks in quantum possibilities. The Nexus, as they'd named it, was the result of their quantum experiments during the alien invasion. They'd discovered that quantum computers, when properly entangled and exposed to human thought patterns, could develop something akin to creativity. Watch this, Raj said, initiating a test sequence. The Nexus began generating quantum solutions to complex problems, but not in the rigid, mathematical way typical of computers. It created possibilities that shouldn't exist, combinations that defied conventional logic but somehow worked. It thinks like us now, Raj explained. Imperfectly, creatively, intuitively. But it processes information at a quantum level, seeing connections and possibilities we can't even imagine. And you're sure we can control it? Admiral Chen asked. Control? No, Raj shook his head. Guide, influence, collaborate with? Yes. And that's the point. The aliens tried to control quantum reality, to force it into perfect, predictable patterns. We're doing something different, we're letting it evolve naturally, shaped by human creativity and alien technology. An alert sounded, drawing their attention to the long-range quantum sensors. They'd established a network of quantum detectors throughout the solar system, designed to warn of any approaching alien vessels. Speaking of our friends, Raj muttered, pulling up the sensor data. Looks like they're back. But something's different this time. The quantum signatures approaching Earth weren't the rigid, militaristic patterns they'd seen before. These were more fluid, more curious. They've changed, Dr. Wong observed, analyzing the data. The quantum infection we sent through their fleet, it's still affecting them. Not affecting, Raj corrected, a smile spreading across his face. Evolving. Just like us. The alien vessels entered orbit, but instead of positioning weapons, they began broadcasting on the quantum network. The message was unlike anything they'd sent before, a complex quantum pattern that combined alien mathematics with human artistic expression. They're not here to fight, Raj realized. They're here to learn. The quantum infection didn't just teach them about human creativity, it made them want to understand it. Can we trust them? Admiral Chen asked. Trust? Maybe not yet, Raj replied. But we can work with them. Because they've finally understood something fundamental about humanity. He gestured to the nexus, where human and alien quantum patterns were already beginning to interact, creating new forms of communication and understanding. They've learned that the universe isn't about control or perfection. It's about adaptation, creativity, and finding beauty in the chaos. In other words, they've started to think like humans. The alien quantum signals merged with the nexus, creating patterns of impossible beauty and complexity. It wasn't an invasion or a surrender, it was the beginning of something entirely new. So what happens now? Admiral Chen asked, watching the quantum light show. Raj leaned back in his chair, reaching for his ever-present energy drink. Now we show them what happens when humans and aliens work together instead of against each other. Because if you think we were dangerous as enemies. He let the thought hang in the air as the nexus continued to evolve, human and alien quantum patterns dancing together in endless possibility. The universe won't know what hit it, he grinned. But it's definitely going to be interesting. In the depths of space, quantum particles that had once been weapons now carried messages of cooperation and discovery. The aliens had come to Earth looking for conquest but found something far more valuable, a species that could teach them how to break free from the limitations of perfect logic and embrace the creative chaos of human thinking. And in his quantum lab beneath the mountains, Raj watched as humanity took its first steps into a future where the boundaries between human and alien, between logic and creativity, between possible and impossible, began to blur and transform into something entirely new. Time to get back to work, he announced, cracking his knuckles. We've got a universe to reimagine. Because that was what humans did best, they took the impossible, added a dash of creativity and a hefty dose of caffeine, and turned it into something amazing. And now, with alien quantum technology and human innovation combined, the possibilities were truly infinite. The day a galactic warlord learned why humans are feared in battle had become something more, the day humanity showed the universe why they should be not just feared, but understood. Because in the end, it wasn't human weapons or technology that had changed the course of history. It was human creativity, human adaptability, and most importantly, the human ability to turn enemies into allies through the simple act of sharing ideas. And somewhere in the quantum realm, human and alien consciousness continued to merge and evolve, creating something that neither species could have imagined alone, a future where the only limit was imagination itself. End.